Hi everyone. I hope you're all doing well. It's always a joy to share knowledge with you, and I hope today finds you in great spirits. Our topic today is something we often overlook, yet it shapes almost every part of our lives. Measurement. From the food we cook, to the distances we travel, to the clothes we wear, measurement quietly rules them all. But how did it begin? Who decided what a foot or an inch meant? And how did ancient civilizations measure? Long before rulers and weighing scales existed, the earliest measurement units were born not from science, but from human needs. Ancient people needed a way to divide land, build shelters, and trade goods fairly. They looked at what was most available, their own bodies. The cubit, for example, used by the ancient Egyptians, was based on the length from a person's elbow to the tip of their middle finger. A royal cubit used in official construction was standardized using a black granite rod, preserved in temples for accuracy. In Mesopotamia, the Sumerians measured grain and goods using containers of fixed volume, often tied to the weight of barley. They also used the mina and the shekel as early weight standards, concepts that would later influence currency systems. The Indus Valley Civilization created remarkably precise stone weights carved into cubes with a standard system long before many other cultures. In China, early rulers developed the qi, a unit of length tied to body proportions, but refined with bronze measuring tools. These systems weren't just technical, they were symbols of order. By fixing measurement units, leaders could control taxation, regulate markets, and maintain trust in trade. Without standardization, chaos in exchange was inevitable. Before we move to our today, I want to say that this channel is user-friendly. No offensive content, no misinformation. We explain things with respect, curiosity, and authenticity. As civilizations expanded, so did the need for more complex measurements. Trade connected distant cultures, and merchants had to find ways to agree on fair exchanges, even if their local units differed. The ancient Greeks refined measurement for both commerce and architecture. They used the pous, or foot, which varied slightly between cities, but in Athens was about 30.8 centimeters. They also divided the foot into smaller parts, just as we divide inches today. Greek engineers, especially during the era of Euclid and Archimedes, relied on geometric ratios to maintain precision in construction. The Romans later built one of the most influential measurement systems. Their pes, also meaning foot, was standardized across the empire, a remarkable feat for such a vast territory. They divided it into 12 uncia, which gave us the modern word inch. For distance, they used the millepassus, meaning 1,000 paces, which became the mile. In agriculture, Romans measured land using the eugerum, roughly the area a pair of oxen could plow in a single day. In the Islamic Golden Age, scholars like al-Biruni and al-Khwarizmi studied Greek and Roman systems, but also created their own refinements. They introduced precise astronomical measurements, calculating the Earth's circumference to astonishing accuracy for the time. Their work in metrology, the science of measurement, influenced both East and West. Meanwhile, in medieval Europe, measurement became a political tool. Kings issued official rods, weights, and scales to prevent fraud in markets. However, units often varied from one region to another, leading to confusion in trade. This variation would eventually push societies towards standardization on a global scale. Measurement was no longer just about building and trading. It had become a matter of governance, law, and scientific progress. By the early modern era, the problem of inconsistent measurements was reaching a breaking point. A merchant in London might measure cloth in yards, while another in Paris used a completely different L. Shipbuilders, architects, and scientists were frustrated by the lack of a common language. This frustration helped spark one of the most important revolutions in measurement history, the creation of universal standards. In 1790, the French Academy of Sciences was tasked with developing a system based on natural constants, not human body parts. They defined the meter as 1/10,000,000th of the distance from the equator to the North Pole, along a meridian passing through Paris. For the first time, a unit of length had a scientific reproducible definition. This became the foundation of the metric system. Alongside it came the litre for volume and the gram for mass, all linked together through decimal relationships to make calculations simpler. The metric system's logic quickly caught the attention of scientists worldwide. However, adoption was slow. Many countries clung to their traditional units, like feet, pounds, and gallons, for cultural and practical reasons. In Britain and its colonies, the imperial system remained dominant. Yet even within that system, efforts were made to standardize. By the mid-19th century, official metal rods and weights were kept in government vaults to define the yard and the pound exactly. In the United States, a blend of customary and metric units began to emerge in certain industries, especially science and medicine. Meanwhile, global trade and communication were putting increasing pressure on countries to align their systems. Scientists knew that without precise, shared measurements, international collaboration would always be limited. The stage was set for the 20th century's push toward full global standardization, a transformation that would shape engineering, industry, and everyday life. The 20th century brought an unprecedented effort to unify measurements worldwide. In 1960, the General Conference on Weights and Measures introduced the International System of Units, known as the SI system. It refined the metric system and set precise definitions for 7 base units: meter, kilogram, second, ampere, Kelvin, mole, and candela. These became the backbone of science, engineering, and commerce. The meter was redefined based on the speed of light in a vacuum, making it measurable anywhere with the right instruments. The kilogram, once a physical cylinder of platinum iridium kept in France, was recently redefined using the Planck constant, ensuring it would remain stable forever. Even countries that still use traditional units, like the United States, now rely on SI definitions behind the scenes for science, medicine, and trade. Today, your smartphone's GPS, your online shopping orders, and even spacecraft navigation depend on these precise unified units. Yet echoes of the past remain. We still talk about feet and inches, pints and pounds, a reminder that measurement is as much cultural as it is scientific. From the elbow of an Egyptian pharaoh to the cesium vibrations defining a second, humanity's quest for precision has shaped our progress. All the information we provide comes from verified historical sources, including books, records, and archaeology. Sources include A History of Measures by Witold Kula, National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST archives, International Bureau of Weights and Measures historical records, Measuring the World by Peter Bate, Ancient Egyptian cubit rod studies from the British Museum, archaeological reports on Indus Valley weight systems. Share and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Thrones of Knowledge, and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified on time. Suggest our next topic in the comments to help make our journey even better.